Today is an exciting video because I have the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. This palette is really beautiful, has such a variety of colors. I've been playing around with it and I swatched a few on my arm on Snapchat, and I can tell right away that these are a very different formula than what we've seen from Morphe. They feel very creamy and very blendable, and I love that. Oh, and if you are new here, I'm Nicol Concilio. Welcome. So I do believe that the eyeshadow palette is out of stock, but I'm not 100% sure when the restock will happen, but I believe it is going to be restocked, so I will let you know when it is. Next time around, you guys can use my discount code NICOL in all caps at the checkout for morphebrushes.com, and that'll get you 10% off your entire purchase. And not only does it help you guys out, it helps me out as well. It helps support me, so thank you for that in advance. Jaclyn has a lot of cool colors in this collaboration, and I know she said she really worked her arse off for this, and you can tell because everything is really beautiful inside and out. And I'm thinking I want to do something with these greens and turquoisey colors because it's not every day that I do color on my channel, so I like to kind of explore, and a lot of you guys have been requesting for me to do more color, so I got you, boo. And I know a lot of you guys also kind of get upset when I don't do my full makeup on camera, so today I'm gonna do it, don't you worry. I usually always start off with my eyebrows, and girl, she got her roots touched. First step in my brow routine, I like to use the Bravo Conditioning Primer. I will focus it more in the areas where I want my hairs to grow or be more thick. So that's always around here for me. And then I'll just lightly fluff through the rest of it. This brow product has seriously changed my life. I don't know what I would do without it. I used to have the thinnest eyebrows ever. And even some of you guys have been noticing in the comments too. You'll say like, wow, your eyebrows have come so far. And I honestly swear by this product. Like, cannot live without it. It does get a little crunchy, so I would recommend only using a little bit, but at night you can really lather this puppy on. That's usually what I do. It's more of like a jelly, watery base, and I love that. So I kind of just take it on the back of my nail, really disgusting, and spread it out all over and just rub it in. And it smells amazing too. Yes, bitch. I'm thinking I'm gonna do Precisely, and I'm in the shade number 2. So I just kind of comb through my brow hairs, you know, making sure nothing is too hard or weird feeling. And I usually always start underneath my brow first. I just feel like once I have that line underneath my brow, like that little arch there, it just helps me out so much to figure out where the rest of my brow is going to be. So yeah. And then once that brow is looking, you know, as fleeky as it's gonna get, I take my 3D brow tones. This is just to add a little bit more dimension so that it doesn't look too flat, you know, because I do have blonde hair. I don't want it to look too like ashy or mousy, if that makes sense. So I just kind of rub it through the brow hairs and it kind of brings it back to life, and I love that. So we're gonna do things a little ass backwards today. I'm gonna do my face first, believe it or not. But first I'm gonna carve out my brow bones with the NARS Concealer. This is the Soft Matte Complete Concealer in Medium 1 Custard. This is actually an Urban Decay brush. I really like this one specifically for carving out eyebrows. And I place it slightly underneath my brow, that way I have room to kind of like blend up with it. So for my face, I kind of wanted to try the new Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Long Wear Foundation. Test this puppy out. But first, priming with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. You guys know this is literally my ride or die primer. And then I just kind of pat it on first in all different areas and then rub it in. I got sent the shade 3W2, which is golden. So we're just going to pray for the best. I never know how much to use, honestly, on like a pump. It's like my biggest downfall. I wind up wasting so much product. Ooh, feels good so far. We will see. Definitely matches my body, so that's good. My forehead is so dry. I think I'm gonna put a little bit more foundation on just because, you know, I'm a foundation hoe. No, but really, I feel like I need just a little bit more coverage. And honestly, guys, I'm not used to using liquids. You know I'm all about that cream life. So sometimes, you know, each product has its own thing. You gotta get used to it. So for concealer, guys, I'm actually gonna mix two Physician formulas. These are the Insta Ready Full Coverage Concealers. I actually really like these. They have light and medium, so I'm gonna mix the two together. I have no idea what Morphe brush this is, but it's like the Copper series, I think. I don't know, the Rose Gold series, maybe? Mix the two together, mix the lime and the coconut, and apply some concealer. This concealer is really great. I really love this. Get the sides of my nose. We are just breaking all of the rules today, guys. Trying to use new products, keep it interesting for y'all. A little bit about the Cupid's bow, the chin. So far I'm feeling that this foundation, the Laura Mercier, personally, I don't know what it's claiming to be, but personally, I feel like it's a matte to satin finish, and it feels really nice. And to contour, I'm using the Tarte Clay Stick Foundation. This is in the color Tan Deep Honey. And I'm just going to apply this like so. I like a strong contour. And then just taking my damp beauty blender, I am going to blend everything out. I like to blend the concealer first and then kind of go in and blend the contour last. You can also bring some of this up to your eye. That blends like really beautifully. Love it. I think the trick with a beauty blender is you want to always just keep your hands moving and very light pressure. That way you don't soak up a lot of the product and it just blends out perfectly. And also what I kind of like to do too is use one side of the beauty blender for my concealer and highlighter and then the other side for my contour. So that way I can go in and clean it up with anything that's left on the sponge from my concealer side, if that makes sense. Just give it more of like a defined little schmutz. To powder everything, set everything so that we don't crease, I'm using the Cover FX Perfecting Powder in the color Translucent. And I'm just dabbing everything into the skin. Again, you also want to press really lightly with this too. You don't want to lift or take off any of the product. This is my Morphe E48 brush. And I'm also setting my eyes to get ready for our shadow. You don't want it to sit for too long, especially if you have dry skin. And then I'm just taking my Morphe E3 brush and I'm just delicately swiping that away. Okay, to start to contour, I'm going in with the Tarteist Pro Glow Kit. If you can't tell, I use this puppy a lot. Specifically the powder contour side, this is called Sculpt. And I'm taking my Morphe G40 brush. This brush is amazing. I love it so much, especially for contouring. And I'm going to start chiseling out the cheeks. Everything with a very light hand as well. It looks so good. I love this brush. And then to contour my nose, I'm taking the JD Wadey with Luxie collaboration brush. This is the best brush ever. And for me, like my problem areas of my nose are right here. Like I want this part slim, so that's why I focus mainly down here, if that makes sense. And then what I do to, because you know, this is obviously really harsh and not blended. So what I do to blend it out is I take this big fluffy brush and kind of just pat it into the skin and blend it out further. And that's usually how I do my contour. So for highlight, I'm taking the Maybelline Master Chrome and I'm going to use this. I actually was using this a lot this weekend and I feel like this is honestly one of the best highlighters I've ever used. Not even kidding with you, like, hi. It's so pretty. Like, I'm friggin' speechless. And then for blush, I'm using the new blush from Ofra. This is in the shade Bellini. And I'm using my Morphe Y4 to apply this. I love this brush for blush specifically. Like, it has that angled kind of shape to it, so I really like that for blush. Okay guys, so I zoomed you in a little bit closer so we can get started with the ads, finally. Also did just want to say that Jaclyn did name these shades. they sent along a little note card, which I thought was really cute, which has each name. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna swatch some of them for you guys. I can already tell you that they swatch beautiful, and I have had a chance to play around with these for a little bit, so I know that they are really gorge. That's one swipe. That's one swipe. That's one swipe. And that is one swipe. Hello. Whew. Oh my god, I'm like really impressed with these matte shades. Every time I do them, I'm always like, wow. I know Jaclyn did put up an in-depth swatch video, so if you want to see all of the swatches, definitely go check out her video. All right, so without further ado, let's get on with our eyes, that is. First, going in with the shade Silk Cream, I'm going to apply that all over my tree. What the fuck's a tree? I'm going to apply that as a transition color. So we're just gonna be going back and forth like windshield wiper motions. This is just going to be so that we can have a nice smooth, like, I guess base you can say, so that the shadows blend better later on. I feel like with any type of palette or anything, there's always swatch controversy. And I did just want to say that swatches ultimately tell you jack shit about a product. Like, what really is going to tell you how a product works is when you actually go to use it and put it on your eyes and see what you think. Actually, you know what I am going to do? I normally do my eyes first. If you are an OG to my channel, you know that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually bake a little bit under my eyes. That way, if I do get any fallout from the shadow, that I'll be able to just dust it away and it won't leave any streaks. That's a little trick. I'm sure a lot of you already know that. You definitely don't have to do this. And again, I'm not really baking anything here. This is here to protect my foundation and everything else from fallout. And then going in with the shade right here, Butter, I'm going to go exactly over that Silk Cream shade. Again, guys, this is just a step that I like to do to make sure that everything is going to be blended out perfectly. You definitely don't have to do this, but I just feel like shadows work better for me when I kind of do this step. So far, so good. I mean, I would expect nothing less from Jaclyn, honestly, and Morphe. So, I really want to use this dark green right here, which I believe is called Enchanted. And I want to do a halo eye with it. Halo eyes definitely aren't my strong suit. Like, I need to practice them a lot more. So, this is kind of like a trial and error. Since I don't want to lose this green Enchanted color, I'm going to carefully build up the color. So you don't want to bring too much on the brush. So, as you can see, this is like a really deep emerald green. I love that, and I want it to stay that intensity and that color. And I fear that if I were to mix it with others, it might get lost, and I don't want to do that. So I am taking my Morphe M433 brush, and I'm just going to lightly start packing on the inner and outer corners of the eye to create that kind of like halo effect. So then I'm switching to a smaller detailed brush. This is the Morphe E36, and I'm literally just kind of like packing on the intensity very slowly and then blending it out. I don't want to get too many harsh lines or anything like that, and you want to make sure you leave the center of your eye clear for the most part. Halo eyes usually take me so long to do, so definitely don't rush the process. And honestly, the key to all of this is blending. You just really want to make sure everything is blended out. So I'm actually really happy with the way that this is turning out. These colors are really easy to blend. Hot damn, Jaclyn, you did a good job, girl. I love this brush. This is the Morphe M514. This brush is life, okay? Especially for working with color, just darker shadows in general. So I'm taking this color right here, Pool Party, and I'm going to slap that in the center, honey. I'm using my Dose of Colors concealer brush for this. I love this brush so much because you can really, really pack on shimmery shadows like this. These colors are so easy to work with. I'm like so impressed. Because like I said, something that swatches on your hand or arm doesn't really tell you much about the product until you actually sit down and use it. So I'm really, really like loving this formula. I'm really loving everything. So now what I'm gonna start doing is just blending the two together. And I'm using my same Morphe M514 brush for this. You wanna be very patient. Honestly, I'm telling you guys, you can't rush a halo eye. Like, shit, man. I keep staring at myself in the monitor. I literally love how much this came out. All right, let's wipe away the powder. You know, we'll probably have to add more highlight and stuff like that, but you don't want green streaks on your face, so it's like one or the other. And then what you can do is just take like a clean brush and like kind of further feather out the edges. That way there's nothing too sharp or anything. Ooh, I scared myself. So I'm gonna take the Man-Eater mascara from Tarte and just prep my lashes for falsies. For lashes, I'm going in with Lily in the style Luxe. And then for eyelash glue, I'm actually using Thrive Cosmetics. I really like their stuff because they donate back to charities, and I think that's really, really awesome. And Kristen Dominique actually turned me on to this lash glue, and it's Infinity Waterproof Lash Adhesive. So since we're not wearing liner, you want to make sure you get your eyelashes as close to your actual lash line as possible. I'm using these little Tarte Handy Dandy eyelash appliers. They are so easy to work with, and I love them. Okay guys, so I'm basically going to be following that exact pattern, like having the light blue in the center and the darker green on the outside for my lower lash line. So just going to start smoking it out. And also make sure you leave a little bit for the center part. And then I'm going to take the New Dose of Colors Parfait. This is really cute. I'm going to apply it. It's like a matte lipstick. Alright guys, and I'm going to finish this look off with a little bit of the Photo Finish Primer from Smashbox. Just a little.
2 hours later.
Okay guys, so this is the finished look. I really love how it came out. Like, I'm so obsessed. This palette's amazing. Like, I have no other words. Like, I'm really, really impressed. I think it's awesome. I'm so happy for you, Jaclyn and Morphe. Love you guys. That's really it. I mean, I'm shook kind of right now. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.